lives. Seen the highs, felt the lows in the rain. Brothers and sisters with stories to tell. Heartache, passion, joy and pain. But laughter keeps the night alive. We bust on each other, side by side. Every scar's got a story to prove. We still find the brighter side of blue. It's the brighter side of blue. Coppers and fathers with
Live at Columbo's. And JJ, what do they got here at Columbo's?
They got food. I don't know what food they have, but Cibo's Pizza, and I think there's one out there maybe.
Yeah, there's a couple of them out there.
Danny usually lies about how many, but there's at least, and there's a lot of. What's their special? Because they got.
Hey, Ricky Ray, what's the special today? Fish nuggets.
He did.
Ricky always knows the special.
He doesn't come here for the podcast. He comes here for the food.
I'm convinced of that because he's never come down here and not ate. And then he's always happy too. He always talks about whatever he gets. He always talks about how good it is.
He's a good advertisement for him.
Right, Ricky? He gave thumbs up. That's it. That's it. Who we got on tonight, JJ?
I don't know. No, Sally, and I don't know her last name. It's
You're scared to pronounce it.
I am.
Because I asked her how to pronounce it and I never told you.
Arspeth. Arpeth.
That's not even
Arpeth.
close.
Arbuthnot.
Arbuthnot.
No, it's not. Not silent, isn't it?
No. It's
She is.
Arbuthnot.
She's shaking her head on that.
Yeah.
Let's just let her pronounce it when she comes on.
No, that's a great story.
I think.
What a great story that is. And you guys will hear how we got to know Sally. It's in an odd way, but we're not going to, and many of you have read it on social media. And by the way, how about Jersey County, dude? They're coming out strong.
I was trying to explain that to him.
Strong. I mean, we put that out we put it out yesterday on our Facebook page that Sally was coming on, and a little bit about the story of why she's coming on. She was a victim of abuse along with her mother. Horrible. I mean, and you'll hear the story. It's complete chaos, utterly chaos. But what she did was, and we giggled at whatever. I'll just leave that for the opening with Frank, or for her interview with Frank. But what she did was use that as strength and motivation to be where she's at now, rather than
become a victim.
Rather than
stay a victim.
What's your song called, John?
Don't take the dark road.
So producer John, as you guys know, that he does a lot of songs, and he orchestrates a lot of songs through AI. But he did a song for Sally that'll be at the end of the show. You listen to that, JJ? You like that?
I rocked on it on the way here.
So it's a great song, and Sally picked out a walk-up song for herself. That's
she's a hard rocker.
Well, actually, Sally, I didn't get to tell you this. We had to go with the first one you picked. She had two, but we went with the first one. But the story is, and her mom's out here with her, who was also a victim of all this. But it's a neat story how we met and how we got to this point. And once again, Jersey County just showing out. They put that thing out, and then I should say her family and friends too. Her family and friends just blasted it out, and
she's got a fan base.
It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool to see, and like I said, it's a really interesting story too. But here's the one thing that we found out yesterday is Danny's not with us. Danny, he's our point guy, right? He's the point guard.
He's still alive. He's just not.
He's still alive, but he's not here this week. And he is in Mount Rainier with his daughter is getting married, and we'll get into some more marriages. But anyway, there's four of us that run this podcast, right? Or are on this podcast, and we all have wives, so that makes 8 of us. So out of those 8, 7 of us are from St. Louis, Missouri, and 1 is from Jersey County. The one, and that is Denise Howard, Danny's wife, grew up in Jersey County, and they were married in Batchtown. Danny and is Batchtown, is that familiar to you?
She shook her head.
Yeah, I can't see. There's that light right there. But yeah, they got married in Batchtown. Denise grew up in Jersey County, I did not get to ask. I forgot to ask what her maiden name was. Johnny, you know her maiden name? Denise's?
Yeah, I don't remember off the top of my head. It wasn't always Howard.
Thank God. No, but
Got Frank laughing.
Denise is, she's from Jersey County, so it's kind of fitting that, the one, and we do a lot of city St. Louis stuff, that's where we're all from, and, that's where we know the stories. That's how we got the podcast started. But for those of you that are tuning in for the first time from Jersey County and the rest of you that actually are tuning in, I told somebody that Sally is like the Taylor Swift of Please Podcast. She's going to take us off the chart. So, but, I don't even know where I was. Where was I, JJ?
I don't know, but we got someone else in this crowd too, Mary.
Nick Cox.
Huh?
Nick Cox. That's Sally's fiance.
Oh, okay. Hi, Nick. I knew his first name. I didn't know his last name.
Yeah,
but I was talking about Mary Beth.
Go ahead and tell. I know where you're going. Go ahead. This is a good story.
Well, she has a friend from Kansas City that started listening to the
Mary
pod-
Beth Carr,
Mary Beth Carr.
and she works in our laboratory.
Oh, and they all know that, don't they?
Yeah, everybody tuning in for the first time knows
I
that.
was joking. Mary Beth Carr is a legendary lab. She runs the lab. She is second to none in the country running this lab, and I think she's actually responsible for catching the Southside rapists.
Yep.
But she has a friend that's here that came from Kansas City that started listening to it, and she actually I don't know her name. What's her
Amy.
name? Amy is friend. Amy was friends. She used to live in St. Louis Hills. She was from St. Louis Hills, and she knew Michelle Stanzi, and that's how she first started. And then she turned a few other people onto it correctly, and she's shaking her head. And then now she's here. She wanted to come and watch it live.
Well, what was cool was, and I was talking to him earlier, and Mary Beth was saying that they didn't even know that, Mary Beth didn't know that Amy even listened to the show. They never talked about it. And then Amy came in town, and she said, "Have you ever heard of the podcast, The Brighter Side of Blue?" She says, "Yeah, I've kind of hung out with those guys while they've done a podcast." And
She was on it.
and then Amy asked her, where do they do it? And Mary Beth said, "Right down the street." She says, "Let's go." So I think Amy's brother is here too, correct? Is that
Close enough.
right?
We didn't do our homework real good.
Between us, or between our names and who people are, that we're not good at that.
But you see people are already typing in for Sally.
Right, they're like, get over it. You guys need to speed it up.
Old Iron Engines.
Old Iron Engines?
Yay, Sally. Then Megan Netzhammer.
How do you see that? I can't see that.
I can see it. And that's it so far. That's pretty
Sally
good.
will be
She has
on.
Nikki Smith, Taylor Swift of Jersey County. Do you know Nikki Smith, or is that one of our people? I don't know. I can't see that good. But anyway, go ahead.
So as
Tom.
we said earlier, we got some weddings coming up. Johnny, turn your mic on there.
I'm with you.
And Danny's daughter, Mary Beth, is marrying Mason, and that is in Mount Rainier, and they have 26 people going to the wedding. Kudos to that, right?
Wow.
26 people. That's a beautiful wedding. And then they all probably had to pay their own way to get there.
Yeah,
That's the way to have a wedding.
no kidding.
You don't need to have no 300 people at a wedding.
No.
Because if you have, what do you think the percentage is of the people that actually want to be there, of the crowd? And the wedding party and all them, it's game on. How many people do you think?
Out of 300?
Out of 300 people, how many people do not want to be there?
Oh, probably 200.
Yeah, that's pretty high. I was thinking half.
If there's an open
No.
bar, if it's an open bar, people can put up with it.
That's a lot. 100 people is a lot. I mean, how many people you really know that close?
But if you're
gonna-
like one of those outliers that like you work with somebody and you don't know anybody else,
Right.
Oh, yeah.
and then you sit at that uncomfortable table, and you're just like, oh, this sucks.
I'm laughing because I got out of a wedding. I shouldn't even say this, but I'm not going to a wedding that I should be going to because I got to work soccer game,
Yeah, you do.
and I got out of it. So that's all I'm going to say.
You got out of the soccer game or the wedding?
No, the wedding.
Or both?
The wedding. I didn't really know him. It's not it's her family, not mine, and I got out of it.
But enough about Danny. You got another wedding. We got another wedding. Producer John, tell us about this other wedding that's going on this weekend.
Yeah, excuse me. Dan and I have 4 children, and the first 2 weddings are on the same weekend. Mary Beth is Friday, and then my son Jack is marrying his fiancee Haley Saturday here in St. Louis. So we will not be going to each other's kids, at least the first weddings, the first two to get married. So
Now, do you think that, you know how, so it would be your future daughter-in-law and Danny's future son-in-law. You know, everything like skips a generation, or sometimes you get traits from the grandfather, correct?
Right?
Do you think that like Mason's sitting there and looking at Danny's neck going, for those that just do, that we give Danny a lot of trouble because he's got a what some would consider a abnormally long neck, freakishly long
To
neck.
be fair, though, he's the one that first brought that up. We would never have mentioned it. It was
'Cause
like
we
the
would
elephant in the room.
We would have never mentioned
It's like the elephant in the room. Never was saying anything, but he brought it up, laughed at himself. So
it's more like the giraffe in the room.
it. Right. And then John, yours I would imagine your daughter-in-law was probably thinking it's got to be a ginger. You know, there's got to be a possibility of a ginger.
Yeah, I wasn't fortunate enough to have a redheaded child of my own, so maybe.
That's what I'm saying. It skips a generation,
yeah,
right?
Right. Normally.
So you can pretty much guarantee that you're going to have a ginger.
hey,
My grandma was redheaded.
my brother's redheaded, and everyone he's
gotta-
got.
I love him.
But Steve's not redheaded.
He's gray now.
Why?
He was red. Well, he's gray now, but he was redheaded, and then all his grandkids, they're all boys, and every one of them is redheaded.
Really?
That's awesome.
The whole family of
Yeah,
gingers?
his daughters are redhead. It's awesome.
That's funny.
Yep.
And then JJ,
Yes, sir.
you're not going to. And by the way, next week we will not have a Thursday show or a Monday show. We've got something in the works, you know, and we're going to concentrate on that real quick and try to knock that out of the park. And but we will not have a live show or a show next week. And we're hoping that all our new Jersey County listeners can go back and listen to some of these episodes, because one of the reasons we started this podcast was, you know, anytime a policeman does something good or a law enforcement officer does something good, it's in the news for a brief second, 30 seconds. Hey, this guy did a good job. Blah. That's gone. Anytime a policeman does something bad, it's in the news for, you know, weeks, if not months. Protests, everything else. And when the school shooting happened here in St. Louis, and the best response to a school shooting ever, and it was out of the news within a day, that part of it. But what out of the news is, the transparency, and they're not getting the report quick enough. That stuff lingers in the news, but not the great job policemen did.
Right.
So that's one of the reasons we started this podcast, and I just wanted to let people know that, and we're continuing, and one of the things, and this is really great thing about having Sally on tonight, is that Sally got hooked onto our show because of our laughter during what some people would call a tragic incident.
Right.
And it is a tragic incident and tragic stuff. But we've had shows with, you know, Steve Dodge, you know, going through his partner getting shot and killed, and we laughed in that show.
Right.
And then we didn't laugh during certain parts of the show, but we laughed at that show. And our shows will have some ups and downs, and like our, you know, little song says, is that, you know, we just talk about everything and try to make light of some situations, and we try to have fun, and that's what we're doing.
One of the main things we started this podcast for was to help policemen, recruiting policemen, because now the fun period is over, and every police department in the country is hurting for police officers. Big cities are all hurting. And we're showing that this is a good job, a fun job. It's got a lot of camaraderie. And we prove this every week. And that's one of our missions, is to bring more policemen, or more young men and women to come into the police field. And actually, we have our first. Potentially. Not our first.
Go on now.
He's already a police officer, but he likes this. I'm not going to say his name.
He's coming from Candyland. I think we have to explain to everybody what Candyland is.
Well, he is kind of.
Let's finish your story, and then we'll go into what Candyland is.
Well, he's from a small town, and I'm just going to say near here, not far. He knows a few of the city police officers. He works secondary. So I'm going to say I don't want to get too deep into it, but he reached out to me and says he wants to do a ride-along with my unit, and he wants to move his wife and child to St. Louis and become a city cop.
Look at you.
Yep.
You're stealing one from Candyland.
Yes. I want to steal one from Brentwood and Sunset Hill still, but I'll take the other one.
You would have
for him.
named them out if that were the case tonight. You
Yes.
would have named them out.
Yes, but this young man called me, and I talked to him on the phone yesterday, and I'm going to set up a ride along with him. And I'm hoping, because he's got all the certifications I think you need, and he might be able to do a lateral move. So that'd be great.
Would he have to abide by the residency, though? Is there a residency
No, there isn't.
rule now?
No.
You
there's
can
not.
live everywhere you want?
But he said he can move to the city.
Okay.
So-
No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
You know?
I hope
But-
it works out, and I'll get paid $500 for bringing him in.
Oh, you get a finder's fee?
Yeah.
Look
Oh,
at
yeah,
you.
the founder's fee. Anybody want?
at you.
Yes. They still owe me for my son, but
But is he going to, when he does his ride along, and then, by the way, so let's go back to Candyland. So JJ, in a previous show or two, we've had the chief of Sunset Hills on and the chief of Brentwood, both dear friends of ours, smaller communities just outside of St. Louis. Officers get paid a little bit more money, and they are known for taking our officers off the street, and or not off the street, but they take them and they end up working for these places. And so JJ has considered anywhere outside the city of St. Louis Candyland,
except Jersey County.
except Jersey County. That's
the
because
real
of Denise,
deal.
right?
Right.
Because Denise doesn't. Yeah,
Well, I'm talking about more Sally than Denise.
Sally and Denise, right?
Right.
You're right. You're right. And then, what was the other thing I had? Oh, JJ, you were going out of town next week,
I am.
and where are you going?
I'm going to Ottawa, Canada for the North America Police Soccer Tournament. It's a trip that I've gone to for showing my age for 25 years.
So, do you still play soccer?
No, I don't. But I am.
But there's a reason that you still go. Why do you still go?
I have FOMO, fear of missing out. But I am the coach. Quasi, I don't really do shit when I go there, but I
Right.
do hang out. And I see people I've known for all those years. I go visit. It's a great, I love going every year. And I miss the shenanigans. And and the back in the day, we used to do, there would be people who would do pranks on each other. And,
Right.
in the hotel rooms when you played softball and you went on trips.
Huh?
And you have one of the floors, and you leave all the door. You put the little latch out so the door stays open, and people can come in and go.
I never did that.
Okay, well, some of us did, and we'd do that. And we'd sit, we'd go in and visit and drink beer and whatever on the downtime. Well, you guys all know this is the funniest prank that I've ever. I wasn't involved in it, but I was there. And Billy Stockman is he's a DEA.
Oh.
He's for DEA. One of the craziest. He was a goalie, so that should say something.
Right.
But you always had to keep both eyes open with this guy because you never knew what he was going to do, and he's a nut, a good nut. So he comes in this room, and Chopper to Copper, he comes down here. He's one of our retired lieutenants, and he's not going to be happy about the story probably. But so Billy walks in the room, and Chopper is looking for a newspaper. And
Are you going to tell Chopper's real name, or are you just going to go by Chopper?
Let's
just go by Chopper.
Let's just go by Chopper. Everybody knows. But so he's looking for a newspaper. Well, Billy sees him looking for something to read, so he kind of knows what's up. So Billy walks out. He walks into the bathroom, gets into the shower, pulls the curtain, and squats down in the bathtub. And Kenny comes in to use the restroom and go to the bathroom.
So he knew he was searching for a paper to go to the bathroom.
He
Okay.
was,
All right.
Billy was wise, so he sat there and he said the hardest thing was not to laugh. So he squatted in the bathtub, but he didn't do it right. He waited. So he's sitting in there for the entire time that he's going to the bathroom. And then when he hears he's finishing up, and he's standing up, he pulls the curtain and screams at him. And Chopper he scared him so bad. And Billy actually thought he might have killed him because he said, I really thought he was going to have a heart attack. But he jumped out. He's opened that curtain and screamed at him, and he said, oh. He was in shock.
Well, he was unable to scare the shit out of him because it was already out.
I was going to say, did he re-shit? I thought he should have stopped after he shit.
No, but for Billy to have the patience to sit in there and wait that long, it was a classic. And Billy said, I actually got scared because I thought I killed him.
He felt bad?
No, for a few minutes he did, or a few seconds he felt bad when he realized he wasn't dying. It was pretty funny.
So, JJ, if you wanted to rediscover your prime, where would you go?
Prime Performance.
And where's that at?
And there's one in O'Fallon, Illinois. Do I need to give the address? And there's one in Fenton, Missouri. And it's 44 Fenton Plaza, and in Illinois it's 122 Central Park Plaza.
Yes, they got all the good B12, the vitamin shots.
Steroid. They have on every day. They have a nurse practitioner. She can do your blood levels and see if you need testosterone. Whatever you
Yep.
need.
They got all that
Perk
good
you up.
stuff, and then you can go there and get a membership. And if you mention the Brighter Side of Blue, you get a discount.
I think so.
Yep, damn right you do. I just thought
If not,
And then John,
do now.
What's that?
They do now.
Hey John, hit that jingle.
Which jingle we talk? Oh,
The
Chicker.
Yep.
I guess we can't cut out the chopper story either.
When you don't want to bicker about the price on the sticker, head on down to Chicker, where you get the best deal quicker.
I like that.
That's a good. That,
We need
John,
to-
that's this. John whipped up that jingle just like he whipped up that song for Sally at the end of the show.
We need to whip one up for Prime Performance and this place too.
The jingles,
Columbo's.
they're harder.
The jingles are harder than the songs, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
You're good. You're talented.
I'm looking forward to that song at the end with Sally. That's a good one. We listened. I know Frank's waiting to be put on here when we call Sally up, but I sent him that song, and he just put back powerful. I
It
thought,
is-
yeah,
it is-
that
it is good.
was
That's
good.
good work.
It's good work, John. Good work, and
Sure.
we're all looking forward to that.
Chicker's got some specials.
What do they got you going on, Johnny?
Well, there's a service department special. You buy 3 tires, you get one for $1. I'll just take the $1 one and skip the other 3. At both Chicker Ford locations, St. Louis and Union. Beat the line and schedule today. Offer is valid until September 15th. And then they're still working in a couple weeks on the world's largest dealer food drive. You can drop off your canned goods and that to Chicker, 9:15 through 9:25.
There you go.
You know what
If you don't want to bicker about the price on the sticker, head on down to Chicker where you get the best deal quicker.
You don't want to bicker about the price on the sticker, head on down to Chicker, where you get the best deal quicker.
They should play that in their stores.
So
Oh,
JJ,
Yeah, constantly.
it just
Yeah,
keep on
rolling.
on loop.
Yeah.
They just loop it.
Yeah.
They'd have everybody quit, and the workers would quit. That's neat for about a minute.
No, you do it a couple times a day.
Yeah, I hear you. But do you do know? And everybody that knows me a little bit knows that I have an infatuation with Bigfoot,
Yes.
right? And but it's not so much big. I don't believe in Bigfoot, but the people that are searching for Bigfoot are wildly entertaining. So I'm skipping through the social media the other day, and I come across not people that are looking for Bigfoot, but have you ever heard of Mothman?
No.
This is a human male, and I had a thing up, but it's that the sound isn't right, so we can't play it. But this, it's a human body can fly, and they call it Mothman. And apparently, Mothman is a signal of doom, right? So here we go. Listen. That doesn't scare you?
No.
We need. You're in the
they got-
most elite unit in the city. You need to get them on Mothman.
Well, we're gonna hang out at Forest Park. It's right in the middle of the city.
Mothman. He's not. I mean, he's not to be trifled with. Apparently,
Yeah. I need video. I need a picture of him.
I've never heard. Have you ever heard of Mothman?
No, but
It was the
I'm
first
curious.
time I heard of it because I do. I'll get Bigfoot on my algorithm,
Yeah.
and then just Mothman pulled up. I mean, Mothman just shows right up.
I want to know where this guy gets this information from. Where did he find it? Who reached
Oh, they're
out to-
Mothman people. They got communities, you know, the Bigfoot searching community.
Yeah.
They're tight. I mean, they roll together, and we'll see here. They had a Bigfoot calling contest, you know, to sound like Bigfoot. So, and I never knew that existed, but that came across my thing, and there's a couple things to unpack, and we're gonna show a video of the Bigfoot calling contest.
Hey, first of all, if you get reports that Mothman is in your neighborhood, turn the porch light off.
You know what I would do too. That took me a minute.
That's good.
His jokes always travel slow.
That was good. You know, he's been missing lately. But
Right.
He's been on point twice to where
He's back.
Yeah,
He's back.
he is.
He's back. He's been dealing with that wedding, and now it's all behind him.
That's a lot of stress.
Yeah, we're ready.
So where were we at?
Get ready for Bigfoot call.
So the Bigfoot, so I didn't know that they had this, and then, like I said earlier, is that I'm in a Bigfoot, you know, kind of an algorithm. Anything funny about Bigfoot usually comes up on my algorithm, and then this one popped up. There's a lot to unpack here. the first is I want you to notice the caller, young gentleman. That if you thought what Bigfoot might have sounded like, you know, this guy nails it. And then, but when he walks off the stage, he's like, and then he's got that attitude of, that's exactly what Bigfoot sounds like, motherfuckers. And then there's a guy on the right.
Rated R.
Now there's a guy on the right in this picture that he's got a hat on, and this guy is so down with what this kid did, and he's just shaking his head and saying like, yeah. That's exactly what Bigfoot sounds like. And these guys are a community. I mean, these guys are
They're serious Bigfoot.
I mean, they're wildly entertaining. Go ahead, Johnny. Hit Bigfoot.
You make it big.
He just marches off stage. The guy on the right, though, he is just sitting there, and he's got that face. And he makes that face. He's like, yeah, that's exactly what he sounds like. Have you ever watched like Searching for Bigfoot?
No.
Looking for Bigfoot? John, you?
I won't watch for
Yeah, a couple
Mothman
of
either.
them.
Wildly entertaining. These guys are convinced that they're going to, and every show I'm like, man, today's the day. They're going to catch him today. And I'm rooting for them.
I tell you what,
I don't like their odds, but I'm rooting for them.
Hey, when I retire, I'm gonna get high with you. We're gonna watch one of these shows.
Yeah, that kind of makes it funnier.
See where you're coming
Kind of
from.
makes it much better.
Yeah.
Why you got to tell everybody? We got new listeners now. All of a sudden, they all know I get high.
Well, I think they're well aware.
Not our new listeners.
Sorry.
Now they
They
know.
might as well know. Not like,
I saw Harry and Henderson's a couple times.
You know what? If the Mothman, I know the Mothman's around here, and you may need security from the Mothman. Who would you call if you needed security from the Mothman?
I'm wearing the hat.
CampbellSecurityGroup.com.
Yep. I just did
You
it.
got a new hat?
Right, all in this area.
He gets
JJ
And
always gets
if
one
you're
of
familiar with
everything.
Mothman,
Hey, Corby, I need
Yeah.
this.
Hey, listen. I
He
just
runs
I
by
just-
cigar.
I
He
just-
runs by
What is
Riverman
interesting
Cigars and gets one cigar for himself.
No, I
Is the
don't, but
Mothman
the hat. I
tell
mean,
us that
Corby asked me to
something's
do
about to happen here? Potentially
schedule some
the
officers
new
for a
Madrid fault line becoming
movie
active
that was being
in central
recorded or taped
US,
in St.
having
Louis,
a
and
very large
so
earthquake.
I went out of my way
Now,
on my
we've
own
had two
and helped him.
recent Mothman sightings.
So that's why I
You're
get
such a
This one was
hero.
in
I
St.
get the
Louis,
hat for that.
right
You're
at
such a
Horse
hero.
Park. There was
But,
an older
yeah, it was a
gentleman
pain in my
who said he
ass,
was
though.
walking his
Scheduling
dog
police officers,
last Thursday
pain in the
when he
ass.
happened to look up in the sky.
But if
But
you
he
also,
did
if you had,
It's
if
Corby though. He sponsors it.
Upon
Have
So
to.
this
closer
weekend's the
examination,
first
you could
weekend
see
of
this thing
football?
had arms and
Yes.
legs. It looked
Thank
like a
God.
man with wings.
Yep.
I mean,
And it was
I've told my
emitting
wife
some
I'm
sort of
done
light.
for the
It
next,
then flew off. It was
18,
still
19
at
weekends.
A couple weeks before that,
She said, what
in
happened?
DeSoto,
She said, you didn't tell me about the previous
Festus
18,
area,
19. What happened
there
then?
was a couple who were actually driving.
Retired.
Highway.
But if you,
When they
how many-
said
you're not even on a
what
fantasy
looked like
football
a
league, are
large
you?
bird
I get it in that
on the road.
DraftKings with you guys.
They
Okay,
slowed
I know.
down,
But
turned
next
on
year you're
their
going to
lights,
join. We
and
need
they
one
could
more
see
for my
what looked
family
like a
to
large
do.
man
We're going
with
to add
wings,
another
and
two
it was
people.
Oh,
for
yeah, I'd
his
like that.
carcass.
Yep.
And
because
We
it
sit-
then
I'd
consider-
enjoy
took
that.
off
Yeah,
into
all right,
the
you're
sky
in.
and took
Hey, JJ, we resurrected the Housing Authority unit football this year. We started that back in early 2000s, and then everybody went their separate ways, and a couple of guys reached out. So it's all former
No kidding.
Housing Authority guys.
No one asked me, and I was the commander of the unit for a while. But
Not when I
before
was-
my time.
Not when
I
I
know.
was.
I know.
Yeah, you're not that close.
But actually, that's funny you say that because this is the second year Mobile Reserves has one. And we do it with a lot of the 6th district, a couple of 6th district guys do overtime for us. So we have a 12-man fantasy football league with them too. I'm in two fantasy football leagues.
You know, you were talking earlier about that young gentleman that he wants to come to the city and be the police here in the city,
Yeah.
rather than Candyland. Do you think it might be beneficial to go do a ride along in the district rather than with mobile?
I think that he should do. I don't know. He'll see the city.
Doing a ride along with mobile's like doing a ride along with the Navy SEALs if you want to get in the Navy.
Yeah, if you want to get technical about it, yeah.
There's no.
I just wanted to set you
He's
up
not
for that.
denying.
I just wanted to set you up for a little cockiness. That's all.
Yes.
And you knocked it out of the park.
I bit-
You
I bit.
knocked it right out of the park.
I bit that, didn't I?
Yeah, you was hooked that one hook, line, and sinker.
That was
But
easy.
But I think he actually. I think riding with us would be fun. He'll see a lot of the stuff, but district would probably be a better barometer. We'll see what because he's going to be in district for a while when he comes here, but. It's not boring. If I would put him, I'd want him to go up to the 5th or the 6th. And I mean, every day is different. Every day is crazy. And they got to, there's great, there are policemen all through the department, but first and second, third, fourth guy, they all have good policemen. And it's kind of neat to see all these good young policemen. And I do the weekend stuff, 2 weekends in a row downtown. But we get called out to the North Patrol's office. Whenever there's a crowd, they call us. But I noticed that the policemen are so good at getting back in service now. There's nobody hanging out like they used.
Right.
When you had a big department, there's always those guys like, well, I'm gonna hang out
Oh, yeah.
and not do shit.
And they already go eat because
Yeah.
you couldn't get a meal because it was too crowded or because it was too busy.
Yeah. Nowadays, you eat on the fly, dude. You get a sandwich and eat in your car. There's no 40s anymore.
That wasn't all that common back in the day. I mean, you'd have your nights where you couldn't get a meal, but
Right.
usually you could get.
There's always downtime at one point, but
Is there now?
depends on what district you're in. If you're in the 5th or the 6th,
There's one thing,
4th,
if you look at, and we were going to have our buddy Jimmy Long on tonight, and he's been part of the Washington, D.C. patrol as a federal agent. So he's in DEA. He's actually a supervisor, and they had him in cars that were 4 deep.
he was in a Tahoe with 3 other agents.
And you called them, and they're not doing a whole lot, which is, okay, that's fine. But it does prove that if you have people out there being seen, it cuts down on crime.
100%.
Jimmy said they haven't made one arrest, but they've, just driving around. They
Right.
know what policemen are. You see 4 white dudes 4 deep in a Tahoe,
Right.
figure it out.
Right. And Jimmy was in mobile reserve, so he knows what a criminal looks like.
Right. but they haven't done anything.
No, he just did it for a week, I think, and now he's getting ready to He's going to come back here. He went to Nashville for a minute for some reason, and then now he is coming back here on the 27th to having a little party for him. Then he's shipping off to Vietnam.
Vietnam. I like it.
Yeah, I'm going.
And then we're gonna make him come on the show when he's in Vietnam.
Absolutely.
What time is it in
I have
Vietnam
no-
right now?
I have no
You have no idea, do you?
He can get his
I
ass,
don't either.
He can get his ass up early
I
in
was
the morning.
I was just hoping that you just make something up.
Right. Well, he wanted to come on. We tried to get him on last show, was it?
This show.
This show. He wanted to, and then he's at some State Department dinner. So
We were going to
he's a
add
big
him
wig.
to Sally. We were going to
Okay.
because we wanted to get him some pub. So we think if we got him on with Sally, that he would get some recognition. But he's coming on the next show, so Sally will be gone by then. Everybody, all Jersey County, will check out and everything else, and that's no good.
They're going to keep following.
But Johnny, you got Musings at the Mic coming at you from JR Cigar, 8984 Watson Road. If you want to get any cigar, Riverman Cigars. I'm sorry. If you want to get any cigar, there is plenty down there, and Dan Ponder will steer you in the right direction. They got a nice little lounge down there, and Dan is just a tremendous guy to talk to, aficionado in cigars. Go down and see Dan, Riverman Cigar Company, 8984 Watson. Johnny, what do you got?
Well, this is kind of sad, but I got this off the Sunset Hills Facebook page. The longtime dispatcher Paula Cottom passed away recently. She served from 1978 to just last month, 48 years with Sunset Hills. She was a senior communications officer with Sunset Hills. So I bring that up just because, too many times we don't work enough material in about the civilians that keep these departments rolling, especially ours. So just wanted to take my hat off to Paula and
Absolutely.
send our condolences out to her family and her coworkers.
With that said, what we could do is we should have a dispatcher on for the city.
We were working on that with Cliffy Harper and a couple other people.
Oh, you really?
It's just the other side of the radio, baby.
They have story after story. Bro.
The other side of the radio, them phone calls got to be entertaining at times.
You know what makes me the most mad? And as a supervisor, it just irks me when they're doing their job and they're good, and the police officer gets smart with them or short with them, like,
Right.
and sounds like an ignorant ass on the.
Right.
That pisses me off so bad when they do that. They're just
They
trying
used to pick fights with people back in the day too, though. The dispatchers did. There used to be some good feuds between coppers and dispatchers, and you knew they didn't like each other. And they're like, "Oh, so and so's got our district tonight," and you knew it was a beef from. It was a beef from. If you started at 3 p.m., that beef would start at 3:05. Where are you at? Whatever.
I just don't like disrespecting the dispatchers. They're out there trying to keep you from getting hurt, and then to be smart with them when they just trying to do their best. It pisses me.
I think that's one of the few times I've yelled at some of my
Yeah.
guys that work for me is when they get nasty with
Absolutely.
the dispatchers.
All right, now we will get before we get to Sally, and we're going to get Sally coming up here. So get ready, Sally. And
She's fired up.
she is ready. Her mom and Nick Cox is with her. Nick is her fiance, and he was described to me as a lumberjack. And
He looks like a lumberjack.
that's what I said. Sally, is that what I said?
I'm going to arm wrestle him after the
But
show.
then the picture he had in Facebook had him in like a nice suit, and I mean he was like one of those. He was like the Marlboro man that was kind of dressed up a little bit, and he did that. Hey, look, I will whoop your ass.
Yeah. I don't.
JJ, you got a Zen, JJ?
That's what I'm saying. And I was getting that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Here we go.
The happiest people don't have the best of everything. They just make the best of everything.
Oh, hail JJ,
I love this song.
quit JJ.
One more time.
One more time, JJ.
The happiest people don't have the best of everything. They just make the best of everything. And that was from the Postman.
Postal Dave sent that in.
Yep.
Good job,
Good
Dave.
job.
That song.
I'm
This
quitting.
that
This is my
song
last
is
show,
too
everyone.
good.
Thank
The song told you not to quit.
So for those that are just tuning in, JJ on the second show of our existence back in November of 2023.
Mary Beth asked me when we started. I can't remember.
November 3rd of 2023 is when we started, and November 10th of 2023 is when you first said you were going to quit.
Right.
On air,
Right.
tirade,
Right.
a bunch of MFers.
I thought the more MFs I said, that you would cut it, but that wasn't.
That didn't work.
That didn't work
That
out.
did not work out for you.
No.
So now we have a song for him. Hit it again, John. Hit me with JJ's song one more time.
When you don't wanna bicker about the price on the sticker,
Wrong button.
head on
They
down
got to pay us more next week.
where you get the best
Good thing it was a
deal
short one.
quicker.
That's,
Here we go. I love this. Sally, get ready, girl. We're about to change over here.
Oh, hail JJ, don't quit JJ.
I am all tangled up, dude.
We still
all right. We're going to.
we got to bring up a couple more sponsors. Avail Professional Services.
Yep. What do we call him again? The weed guy?
Yeah, he's Marty Bird.
Marty Bird of the Financial Services.
Marty Bud.
Specializes in agriculture.
Yeah.
Avail Professional Services. But they also help out regular businesses too, though, don't they?
Yeah, they handle, businesses, individuals, whatever your needs are.
You know who our
Professional-
you know who our sponsor is going to be for Sally's featured interview?
Who's that?
Fairway Automotive.
Oh yeah.
You know, that's where it's not only done the right way there, it's done the fair way.
Oh, nice. Did you just
See,
come up with that?
that's their. I actually got that off their website.
Oh, okay.
I didn't come up with that. It's like I did.
I have one. I have one of their hats too.
You went there and you.
I got
I
a
mean,
hat, too.
No,
they have an Uber service. They you know, if
Oh.
you need one of those. And,
I just had their
drop
donuts
your
and
car off, but you just had to go in there real
coffee
quick
and
and get
donuts.
some.
Popcorn.
Yep.
And then if you have to work all day and you need an emissions test, you can get a nocturnal emissions test.
Really,
Yeah,
nocturnal. What at night?
yeah. Get a nocturnal emissions test. Okay.
I don't get that one still.
All right, you guys.
No. Yeah. You flew that one over.
That's over.
That last one though you had
I
was
get
pretty
it.
good. That one. So now we are going to bring up Sally Christine Arbuthnot, and we will play her walk-up song, and we will be back with you in about 3 minutes.
I could be mean, I could be angry, you know I could be just like you. I could be fake, I could be stupid, you know I could be just like you. You thought you sit beside me, you were only in my way. You're wrong if you think that I'll be just like you. You thought you were there to guide me, you were only in my way. You're wrong if you think that I'll be just like you. You thought you were there to guide me, you were only in my way. You're wrong if you think that I'll be just like you. I could be cold, I could be ruthless, you know I could be just like you. I could be weak, I could be senseless, you know I could be just like you. You thought you sit beside me, you were only in my way. You're wrong if you think that I'll be just like you. You thought you were there to guide me, you were only in my way. You're wrong if you think that I'll be just like you. You thought you were there to guide me, you were only in my way. You're wrong if you think that I'll be just like you. Oh, no, 'cause I can't take living with you. I'm alone, so I won't turn out like you want me to. You thought you were sitting beside me, you were only in my way. You're wrong if you think that I'll be just like you. You thought you were there to guide me, you were
Idea. So we'll introduce Frank here in a minute. What Johnny's doing a little something right here, and then let's read. I can't see.
Scan up a little bit, Johnny boy. You know Abigail.
We want to just say hi to a lot of these listeners out here that are here for you. We got Josh Fuller. We got Postal Dave.
But we got more. Let's. Sally, can you want to read them?
Can you read them, Sally?
You know some of the people.
Can you see that?
Autumn.
Yeah, Autumn. Did you know that Sally's grandpa is former Alton Police? That is correct. He retired. He was a detective, retired as a sergeant. Megan, that is my cousin, my best friend.
Oh, there you go. Let's go.
Jenna, Gaither fam. Those are all, you know.
What about Jennifer
friend-
Bartholomew? Ooh.
Older friends, yeah.
Sally. Mary M. Love the song.
That is Aunt Mary. Abigail,
Stop.
that's my sister.
All right. Hey, Abby. Gather,
All right.
Gather man. Mary. Yep.
We will get to them again at the end.
All right.
And then if you guys have questions and comments as we go along, just put them in there and we'll try to get to them. Towards the end, we will keep a little flow here. Frank, and then, so we'll get back to Frank. Frank joins us from North Carolina.
South
for
Carolina.
Is it south or north,
South.
Frank?
North Carolina.
Thank
Told
you.
you I was right.
Yeah, there you go, JJ. Wrong again.
He's from New York.
I mean,
dude.
I don't know how many times you got to be wrong a show. Every show, it's multiple times.
I don't really care where Frank's from. I just
All
know
right.
he shows up on the screen.
All right, but Frank joins us, and how this all started was Frank came on our show. What's all the screaming?
I don't know.
Is that a
It's a
child?
little kid.
Sounds like
Where's the little kid? Right up the top of the steps?
it's like a
Did-
little game right up
I
there
think their
or
dad told them, "Hey, go to the top of the steps and yell down there."
Yeah. I think she's going to take care of it. Somebody just ran up there. So.
Good Lord! All right,
All right, go on.
Now, did that throw you guys off too?
Oh, absolutely did.
Oh, so-
I thought it was a Mothman.
all right.
I think it was too. It's scaring the shit out of me.
But no, Frank came on our show several weeks ago, and he told the story of Henry Hurstman. And it was a wild, crazy story, and I'll let Frank get into, and it's not going to be as funny this time, now that we know people.
No, it will be.
It's crazy. It's a crazy, chaotic story. And it involved a shot in the foot and fire bombs going through houses and people running. Well, I in particular was laughing very hard because of the chaos. And we did a short on it, and the first person to respond to it was your mother.
Mm-hmm.
And I keep track of all our responses and try to respond back to them. And so I got a notification that somebody responded to this short that we were laughing at, and this Henry Hurstman was involved in this case, and the first response was, and I'm not quoting you, Sally, but I'm just saying what I heard out of the response was, "Fuck this lying motherfucker." Am I correct? Is that? I don't know that if you that was what it was, but
Yeah.
then the next comment was from Sally, and it was I was Henry's daughter and blah blah, and it went on, but it basically said that laughter was healing to her because living the crazy hell that she's lived in her past, that really all you can do is laugh about it, because if you don't, it'll drive you nuts.
Right.
Yep.
Well, and then I forwarded it to Frank, and I said, "Hey, Frank, I think Henry Hurstman's daughter just reached out to us." And Frank's like, "You shit." He's like, "I'm going to call her. I'm going to DM her on Facebook." And that's what he did, correct?
Wow.
And so Frank,
Yeah, how did Frank get involved in this at the beginning?
what was that? It was the flight in the guy threatened to blow up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I got you.
So, and that's what we'll get into Frank. So, and everybody wants to hear from Sally, but we have to set this up.
Right. You got.
It has to make sense, and we have to set this up. But Frank, welcome back to the show.
Thank you. Hey, Frank, I told you last week, I'll see you next week. We didn't know that was going to happen, but I knew it. I knew you were coming back. Go.
Yeah. So it was great. The minute I started talking to Sally, she was so gracious about it, and I started apologizing. Because number one, we were kind of flippant, but we were talking about the history of the term Hoosier and stuff. And I said, but hey, a judge wanted to know what that meant in court, and somebody actually told the definition in federal court on a bank robbery. So, but anyway, Sally was very. We hit it off from the beginning. We got along great, and shared some stuff. And she reminded me of a lot more things that I've forgotten from her perspective. So that's I want to just kind of skim over that, but I really want to hear from her. While all the police and the FBI are doing stuff on this end, it's going to be fascinating to hear what she was seeing and hearing and experiencing on her end, and what she told me was unbelievable. But anyway, I'll kind of laid the whole story out, and I kind of remember some more details, so hopefully it kind of fits. But it was right after 9/11 was in 2001, so 2002 we had ginned up our Joint Terrorism Task Force, and we had Bill McDonough from the city and Don Thompson from Highway Patrol and Roediger, had Roediger there, and so we were ginning stuff up, and everybody was very, very sensitive to anything that could be terrorism, right? And so we're busy with a lot of stuff, and this call comes in on a 911 call where a guy said that his business partner is a pilot and he was going to fly a jet plane into the Fair St. Louis, into the arch, and crash the plane. So I got assigned the case, and we were kind of working up, the phone records and getting the recording, and I had the recording on a handheld, and we interviewed some people, and I think it was the business partner who said, "That's Henry Hurstman." We're like, "Henry Hurstman? Who's Henry Hurstman?" He's got the classic car garage downtown. It was Shoto and 14th. I can't remember. I was looking on the map. It's no longer there, but it was a really neat classic car garage, and he, fixed them up and sold them and stuff. And he and his partner were going through some hard times. So anyway, we go out. First, Bill McDonough and I go out, and he's not there. And then I went back. Bill got hung up on something else. I just went back by myself. I'm like, this is just a threat. I can handle this. We'll just kind of see what we can do. So I sat down with Henry. We went in the office, and I'll tell you, this is really strange in talking to Sally. He was very low key. He was very respectful to me. I didn't see the evil that was behind those eyes. I did not see it, and he seemed like a beaten man. He was having trouble with the company. And anyway, we talked for a while, and basically he confessed right away to me. And when I told him that his voice was identified and we had the phone records, and I'm like, all right, I said, look, you're not going to get arrested right now. This is just an investigation. I had the confession. We'll go back. And so then later on, I think Bill McDonough and I went back and, we got the warrant and we arrested him. So, no big deal. It's a threat. He's probably going to get probation. He comes in, he has his hearing, his initial appearance, and they let him out on bond. But when the chaos starts, it starts with him going out the back door of the marshal's office, and the media was swamped over this because, again, this is right after 9/11, and someone's threatening to crash a plane into the St. Louis Arch. So he comes out the back door, and rather than ignoring the press, he says something. I wish I could get that film. He says something like, it was just my business partner, and he confesses on live TV to it. And he goes on his way back to Jerseyville. So, no big deal. We go back to what we're doing. And then all of a sudden things start to happen. And you'll hear from Sally that he has a history of domestic violence. And you'll hear from Sally that he would turn into a violent guy, either from alcohol or drugs or whatever. And he had a lot of problems with people. And he not only got shot by a .38 on top of his foot, and I'm not going to say again who may or may not have done that, but Sally reminded me that he'd been shot several times by people. And he didn't go to the hospital. And so anyway, he has a domestic at home, which was usual for him. And Sally's mom calls it in, and he knows he's going to get violated on the federal release. He's violating his release. So he just snaps. So anyway, we go out to talk to him about it. This is before the warrants were taken out, and he's limping. He's limping on this foot that he's got a big old 38 hole through the top of his foot, and he's limping around. I said, "Are you going to go to the hospital for that?" Nah, and he's got it wrapped. It's bleeding. And so anyway, it gets worse and worse and worse, and then they're going to come looking for him. So he's hiding out, and as the story goes, we didn't think anything of it. This was around Christmas time. He blamed Sally's mom and her dad for trying to get him violated, even though he was the violent one, to get him violated and get him, locked up. And so he snaps, and as I described before, he shows up at Sally's grandparents' house where her mom and dad and all the kids were Sally and her brother. And I was thinking Sally was like 10 or 11. She says she was only 6. Oof. And he shows up at night, and it's a long driveway out to the street. And he shows up in this classic car that looks like Dukes of Hazzard, is how I described it. And how he told me later when I interviewed him, he had gas cans inside this thing, and he's pouring gas on himself. And he takes a big long rag and soaks it in gas and shoves it in the gas tank. And he lights the rag that's stuck in the gas tank, and he sits in the car and he's revving the engine up. So Sally's grandfather comes, there's a big picture window, what I remember, over the garage, and he's looking down the driveway, and he and Henry are staring at each other as he sees fire coming out of the gas tank, and Henry's revving up the car, vroom, vroom, and flashing the lights, and then he punches it, and it comes right at Sally's grandfather, the car, and all the kids are in the house and everybody, and bam, he runs it into the garage. For some unknown reason, Henry does not burn up. He says he soaked himself in gas and it was full of gas cans. He jumps, I guess he decides not to commit suicide, jumps out of the car and runs off into the woods as the house burns down. And something that Sally reminded me of, I'm going to have Sally tell the story. As they fled the house down this long driveway, more horror faced them, and I'm going to let her tell that story.
Hey, before you do that, can you describe what he looked like? What was his stature? What was he?
So he
Draw a
was,
picture of him.
I'm thinking he was like 5'10", he had blonde hair. If he was at the beach, he kind of reminded me of like, a surfer sort of. Like he had longer blonde hair, and he wasn't an aggressive, loud guy. He wasn't like a tough guy or anything like that, and so he just had a different personality around me than what I heard was going on.
How old is he at this time, Frank?
I think he was in his 40s. I think he was in his mid 40s, 42 to, I thought he was in his 40s.
She's saying you're correct.
Yeah, and my memory's not as good as it used to be, but I got along great with him, and he was very cooperative, and then that something just snapped in him, and so anyway, before Sally kind of tells from her point of view, there's a manhunt for him now. He's wanted, he's violated the federal release. He's wanted for domestic violence. Now he's wanted for arson and attempted murder, and he runs off into the woods. And I later learned this is around Christmas time, a week or so, maybe a few days before Christmas, and he's off in the woods. It's freezing, and I swear I remember he ran off. He was barefoot and didn't have a jacket or anything, and he's freezing in the woods, and he makes his way back from Jerseyville all the way to St. Louis, and he didn't tell me how he got there, but it took him a long time, and he was holed up in the warehouse where the classic cars were. And so we're doing surveillance, we're trying to find him. I don't even know if the marshals got the case, but I was working with your guys and trying to find him, and with your intelligence division and Bill McDonough trying to find him. And we developed a source at the McDonald's across the street who said they knew him and he always came over there. So I get a call on Christmas Eve, hey, Henry came over and got some food and a hot chocolate or something like that. And I'm like, oh my God, it's Christmas Eve, So we call out the Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marines. It's starting to snow out. And that's when Bob Cooney and the SWAT team comes out to search the garage. And I don't know if Sally, I guess you heard this part. So they're looking in there, they're searching all the cars, and they have to methodically check every one of these classic cars and open the trunk and, clear, they're clearing every freaking car looking for him hiding. They can't find him anywhere. And then finally they make their way back to the boiler room. And it was kind of warm in that boiler room. And so Cooney goes in as he's the entry guy, and the other guys are backing him up, and they're looking around with the flat. There's no lights on in there. And I think Cooney noticed something up there. He said, I'm going to climb up there. He goes climbing up on the boiler, and Henry shocks him. Henry's laying up there against the corner with a knife. And Cooney, again, Bob could have shot and killed him and it would have all been over with, but it shocked Cooney and it shocked him, and Cooney kind of grabbed him and fell off the boiler, and they both came tumbling off the boiler onto the floor, and the SWAT team jumped on him, and everybody was okay, and they took him off. They took him off to jail.
I'm just going to add a little something. Bob Cooney, his wife and daughter, listen to the show, and he passed away tragically in an accident.
Sorry to hear that.
But if there's one thing that I can rest assured is that with Bob Cooney and the rest of the SWAT team there, and the SWAT team gets advised of what they're going after somebody for and what they've done, I would say that your father had I will not call him your father. I will call him
Henry.
What?
And
Poor Henry.
I think, yeah. And by the way,
Yeah.
when you said that in that short, I think that's what really got Mom stirred up.
Yes, yeah. No.
And then that's what got her going, fuck poor Henry. Poor Henry, my ass. You know, but and we'll get into that a little bit. But I think, Frank, that it tells you when somebody, and we're going to hear stories about them, when they're that, you know, some of the meanest, craziest people, you know, when they're not around the people they want to be crazy around, they're the best people. They're just the salt of the earth kind of people.
Absolutely.
And then they have that other side to them that only certain people see, and that's what we're gonna talk about.
Yeah, I mean, we've interviewed serial bombers and serial killers that, you know, from St. Louis that were that way. They're like buddy with you, you know, but then you hear they're vicious when they're around their people and what they do. And,
Yep.
yeah, it's very strange.
All right, now we're gonna get to Sally. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
No, thanks for having me. This is awesome.
You are the toast of Jersey County.
I guess.
I feel like I'm around. Like I said earlier, I feel like I'm around Taylor Swift.
Oh gosh.
The Taylor Swift of the police department.
Should have pen have people sign, you know, start having
Autograph?
people sign,
Yeah.
sign that.
No.
No, but and everybody's just heard how we met, and I've talked to Sally, and just an unbelievable story. But let's just talk about what was it like. You know, let's just go back to those early years, and what was it like growing up around him?
At home, I mean, I would say chaotic, like predictable, but unpredictable. Like I knew what was going to happen every night, but also, you know, I kind of hoped that maybe it wouldn't. Like maybe we would have a good night, which we did. I mean, every now and then, like, I don't know, maybe he'd bring me home a stuffed animal or candy or, you know, typical like dad stuff. But I mean, that's not really the stuff I remember.
Right.
I mean, you were only 6 for crying.
Yes.
That's a long.
Yeah.
That's pretty young.
I mean, and so I couldn't tell you when I actually recall things, you know, whatever age that is. But I mean, there's certain things that stick out to me.
Right.
But, you know.
So let's go back to the car bomb, or with that night.
Yeah.
Just, I mean, is it something that sticks in your mind?
That night, for sure.
Okay, so take us to that night and just what you remember and what went on.
So I remember, can I give a little of what led up to it? Of
Absolutely.
What I remember?
Yeah.
So obviously it was always chaotic, abusive, crazy. But this, for some reason, this one day or night, whichever it was, like stuck out to me, is he hit my mom in the head with a vacuum cleaner. I don't know if it was the handle or what it was, but she ended up going to the hospital. I think she got like, I don't know, 17 staples maybe.
Jeez.
And then for some reason, I remember my grandma took me to Kmart, and I was looking at CD players. Don't ask me why I remember that, but I do. And then for some reason, like I said, that night was different. So after that all happened, which I'm probably missing or forgetting or don't know certain things that happened, but then that's when we left, and we went to Grandma and Grandpa's house, which was in like Paisaw, Brighton area at the end of the driveway, like Frank described. And we went, like I packed up all my stuffed animals. Well, not all of them. I'll get to that later. But I loved all my stuffed animals, so that's the majority of pretty much what I brought. So we went to Grandma and Grandpa's. We're downstairs in the basement. Mom and I are sleeping on the futon, from what I remember. My brother, who, gosh, he was born in June, so he was a baby. He was in like a little, kind of like a playpen at the bottom of the staircase. And then Mom and I were kind of away from him. I think Grandma was sleeping in the basement also because I think Grandpa snored. So
I get it.
they
Now,
slept separate.
was your grandpa was law enforcement?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, he was.
We'll get into that a little
Okay.
bit.
Yeah. So I was sleeping with like all my stuffed animals, and for some reason I remember I had this like nightgown on, which my grandma got me, which was my favorite. Even though it was in December, I had a nightgown on. But anyway, so all of a sudden I hear a dog barking, and I think I'm dreaming, but I'm not sure what's going on. And it was our family dog. His name was Dempsey. It was a chocolate lab.
Great name.
Yes. Well, my grandpa is a boxing fan, so
Oh, wow, that's
that
awesome.
was their dog. And I heard him barking. He always barked when someone was coming down the driveway. He was the doorbell. And so I hear the dog barking, and then I hear Grandma say, "It's Henry." And then I hear Mom yell. yelling, everybody get out, get out. And then I hear this loudest noise I've ever heard in my entire life. And that obviously that was the car hitting the house. And so mom's like, come on. You know, she grabs my brother, tells me to hurry up, but I don't care because I want all my stuffed animals. The whole bed's covered in stuffed animals. I want to take all my stuffed animals. So I'm grabbing all my animals. I made sure I grabbed all my favorite ones. So then we go out, we go to the back. It was like, was that a walkout basement, Mom? It was like a walkout basement. And so we're standing out there. It's freezing cold. We have no clue where he's at. We have no clue where Grandpa's at. It's me, Mom, my baby brother, and Grandma. And, you know, for some reason in my mind, it like fast forwarded as all of a sudden I'm sitting in the back of an ambulance. And so we had to go up the hill, EMS, police, everybody was there. Thank God Grandpa was okay. They checked him out. And we all hop in the car and we're leaving to go to my Aunt Amy's house. And all of a sudden I'm sitting in the back seat of the car, and the sheriff at the time, Paul Cunningham, he walks up and brings me this bunny, this pastel-colored bunny my mom got me. I think she got me at the Hallmark store because I wanted it for Easter. And that was my favorite bunny. Still have it today. And he brings it. He says, is this yours? And I was like, oh, my gosh, yes, that's my favorite one. And then we leave. And so those are pretty much everything I remember from that night. And then we get...
Sally, was the house on fire? Was there flames everywhere?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I
you
forgot that part.
Yeah.
I want to hear that.
That's why Frank's becoming our executive director, because he wants you to paint a picture.
Yes.
Please paint the
You're
picture.
right. I should know this with my report writing, like tell the story, tell the audience. But yes, the house is in flames. But the whole time I was just worried about my stuffed animals. So I wasn't really worried. Everybody was out of the house and, you know, we were all good. And so, you know, from my young mind, that's really, I don't remember a whole lot. But yes, the house was in flames. So then we leave and we get to the end of the driveway and there's another car at the end of our driveway. And it was our family dog. He was dead on top of the car. Later on, obviously, we learned that my dad killed him. He stabbed him several times.
Jesus.
That pisses me off more than a lot of things.
I'm more mad now.
I'm an animal person. Anybody can tell you that. But thank God, obviously, we were all okay. Everybody was okay. But yeah, that really made me mad. So yeah.
What kind of car was it?
At the end of the driveway, I don't
was it
know.
the yellow one?
Mom,
was
what
a yellow?
Pacer.
A Corvette?
Cornet.
Cornet.
Let me ask you this.
Close to a Pacer.
You said something about your grandfather being checked out. What did he get hurt at all, or what was it?
Yeah.
Say that again.
When Henry drove the car into the house, the brick wall landed on my dad.
Okay.
A brick wall landed on
us.
him.
Yeah.
Did he have to go to the hospital? He did.
And I think he had some long-term injuries, but yeah.
But
Was-
and people were hurt, but thank God nobody was killed.
No,
I mean,
by the grace of God,
I don't know how nobody's killed in that.
I don't know.
You know, at least, you know, if Henry could have got burnt up, you know, at least, you know.
Yeah, it's like he's a cockroach.
And we'll get to him later. But when was it, you know, and you're growing up in this, and you know Henry's off the chain? Do you remember at an earlier age than thinking that this guy's out of his mind?
I would say yes and no, because it was normal to me. Everything that I went through as a kid, that was all I knew.
Right.
And so, I mean, as I grew up is when I really started to realize things. But as a kid, I mean, I would say I noticed some things were off. Like my cousin Megan, who commented, who's watching, I would go to her house and she had a trampoline and she had a pool and she had a dad who was there and present, and we would play and we would have fun. And I'm like, man, this is pretty cool.
Right.
But then I'd go home and it'd be the normal, you know,
Chaos.
Yes. But it didn't really click until I got older. Like, okay, yeah, that was not okay.
I know that you might not know. Do you do from your mother, from talking to your mother? Was there drugs involved? Alcohol?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He
everything?
always reeked
Everything?
of beer, and I'm pretty sure he drank Miller Lite. Am I right, Mom? Well, that's why I've never drank Miller Lite, because that was his beer of choice. So I've just never drank.
I think he was using crack cocaine at the time, right before he snapped too. A little bit. He was
Sally,
smoking
crack
rocks.
cocaine, yes?
Yeah, yeah,
She said that was emphatic yes.
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, hey, you forgot something, Sally.
Uh-oh.
Back at you. Oh, this is important.
She knows.
At your house,
She just
what
thought
did
of
you
it.
find at your house afterwards when you went back to your house? You didn't tell that.
Oh, our house in Wood River. Oh, I talked to you a little bit about that, and I talked to Mom about that later, because I was like, what was the intention of that? He was like booby trapping it.
Yeah.
And so he doused it all in gasoline, and my stuffed animals were all in there.
He doused your stuffed animal?
All my other stuffed animals.
Wow.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
had
she
a-
has this memory of her favorite stuffed animals being soaked
Wow.
in gasoline, and for whatever reason, he didn't start it on fire. But you also, I remembered something. Didn't this closets upstairs have like a secret you could hide? I think your mom. I had to go. We couldn't find him, and so we had to search behind the wall for him. Am I
Oh,
remembering that right?
she says yes.
Yeah. And so that was creepy. Like, he's on the run. He's a fugitive, and we had to go in the wall. We didn't know what, that he was hiding in there, and we had to clear that. And it was like this secondary wall that we had to crawl through and make sure he wasn't in there, and it
would
reeked
be
of
creepy.
gasoline. And
Yep.
everything. Yeah.
Now we've acknowledged your mom numerous times, and you were a youngster at the time, and Henry gets locked up, but you guys got a lot to deal with.
Yeah.
How was your relationship between you and your mother to get through all this?
Well, it was a little rocky at times. I do remember when I was young, she put me into counseling. And I remember, going to counseling and drawing pictures and them asking me about my feelings and all that stuff. And I vaguely remember they said, when she's a teenager, she's going to act out. Am I right, Mom?
I think so, yeah.
They said, she's going to have some issues and some doubts and questions as she gets older. And don't ask me when I heard that or remembered that, but I did have some issues when I was a teenager. I was very angry, angry at the world, angry at my mom, even though it wasn't her fault. I mean, my mom did everything to protect me, but I was just angry. Like, why did this happen to me? Why did I deserve this? I was just a little kid. And as I got older and matured, I started to realize things. But at that weird age of 12 to 18, I guess, really, I was just like, why did this happen?
So you said earlier that at 6 years old you thought it was normal.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
At what age did you say this isn't normal and this isn't what's supposed to happen to kids?
If I had a rough guess, maybe 10, 12, around there, maybe.
And then at that time, you said look, this might have had nothing to do with your animosity with your mother, because that's life.
Yeah.
That's being a parent, right? Because as young kids, we want to be our own selves, and as a parent, you want to tap that stuff down every once in a while.
Yep.
So was it more than that, you think?
Oh, yeah. I would say I was pretty out of control for a while. I would sneak out. I would lie. Normal teenage stuff.
Because you still haven't
No, but
mentioned
Hey,
I
I
did-
did that.
Exactly.
I did get in a
I'm thinking my daughters are sitting there listening, going, "Hey, Dad,
Yeah.
what's up?"
Well, I look back on it now and I'm like, man, that was bad. But I hate to admit, but I did get in a little bit of trouble when I was a teenager. I got in a pretty bad fight, and it was because I was just angry at everything, like I said. But what scared the hell out of me is I knew I wanted to be a police officer. So when I got in trouble, I was like, my life's over. It's over.
So let's go to
At
that.
what point? Talk about at what point you decided that you wanted to be a police officer.
Stole the question right out of
Yeah.
there. Everybody
Good
was going to ask the same question.
Yeah, sorry.
I would say it was somewhere in the midst of realizing what I lived through was wrong and then getting in trouble. It was somewhere in the middle. I couldn't tell you exact day, but yeah.
Nice.
What age?
And what
are
about
you
the
thinking?
God,
the PTSD you told
I-
me about?
maybe 13. I don't know.
So that's when you decided you didn't want to be a victim the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Now,
Talk about the
speaking about,
PTSD that you
I'm sorry,
had.
Frank, but the PTSD and how that occurs within anybody that's been
Yeah.
through trauma incidents. Go ahead and talk about that.
I mean, I don't let any of it like consume me. My mom is really the one who took the brunt of everything. I was just around for a couple years from what I remember, and then, a big traumatic event that, obviously I've kind of read up, done research, trauma as a kid, it affects you tremendously as an adult. And so, certain things that have brought me into adulthood from my childhood is, fear of abandonment. Like, why did my dad leave me? Anxiety, all the typical things we hear every day.
Oh. Frank?
The pleasures of going live right there in front of us. Internet went down. We're sorry. We hope everybody rejoins us or stayed with us, or it was a hot minute there. It was just a circle. The thing keep going around, and then we are back. But I think, and Frank, you brought up where did we leave off at?
Yeah, so we were talking about like at what age, she wanted to be a police officer, and then how it affected her growing up, and she was talking about her anger. And one of the things that Sally, you told me that was haunting to me is, and I want to know what age and how long it lasted, where you were worried that he was going to come home from jail, that he was going to worried about him, always worried about him coming home.
Yeah, so I feel like that really stuck with me a lot as a kid, because I feel like I couldn't really protect my mom and defend myself because I was just so young. Now, so as far as like time frame, I would say that lasted most of my childhood. I kind of got over it, forgot about it. Now I'm absolutely not scared of him whatsoever.
But tell us why. Tell us why that is. What did you do?
Well, I know I can defend myself and defend my family, protect my family. As a little girl, I wanted to protect my mom. That was always what I wanted to do. But I'm like, I'm just a little girl. I'm 6 years old. Like, what can I do? But now, like, I can. Like, I really can. Legally. So,
But
you
tell
know.
us about what you did for closure. What you told me you did for closure.
so
You went and visited him.
I did. I went and visited him. I lose track of time, but I know I was 21 at the time. And for some reason, I woke up one day and I'm like, I just want to go. I just want to go. He was in Centralia prison at the time. And I just got up one day and I went. Well, when I got there, I wasn't on the visiting list. He had taken me off because I never went and saw him. So I wrote him a 1-sentence letter and said, put me on your visiting list. And a week later, he said, done. So I went and saw him. Well, when I went and saw him, it's weird because I wrote him a letter to tell him, like, hey, I'm coming. I get there, and he thinks that I am his oldest daughter.
Wow.
I'm like, are you dumb? Like, I mean, like, I told you I was coming to see you. But anyway, I mean, I didn't really get the answers I wanted, but I got closure. I mean, I hadn't seen him since I was a kid.
When you say
Was he
closure,
touched?
was it closure in that I really
Give a shit.
don't want you around in my life anymore?
Essentially, yeah.
So you just
Yeah.
wanted to make sure that you didn't want this guy anywhere around
Yeah,
you anymore?
like obviously, I was still young. I had just gotten into the law enforcement career, so I was starting to understand things a little better than I did when I was a teenager. But I mean, he didn't give me anything.
So he never,
worthwhile.
he never apologized to you, or
No, he acted like everything was everyone else's fault.
Wow.
And I'm like, no, like we all mess up, we all make mistakes, and there's a time and a place where you have to realize, like, yeah, I
own
screwed
it.
up.
Right.
And he never did. So until that day, I think it'd be hell freezes over. But if that happens, then great. But some accountability is what I need.
So
Was he emotional at all when you were talking to him? Did he get emotional or
No,
anything?
no.
Wow.
He thought it was very cool that I was in law enforcement. He wanted photos of me like next to like a squad car. Said, no guns though because it's a prison. But yeah, he thinks it's very cool and remarkable of what I do. It's like weird to me. I don't know. I don't get it.
So since your meeting with him, have you seen him since? Talk to him?
No, he has. He's wrote letters to the sheriff's department. Like he sent packets, like wanting me to help him appeal things, and I'm like, no, like I'm not doing that. Oh yeah.
When we went blank for a minute, you and I were talking, and you said that he is getting out soon.
Yeah.
And how does that affect you?
I don't really like it. It's October 29th, right, Mom? Yeah, less than 60 days. So I don't like it. It makes me feel, I guess indifferent would be the word. Like, I'm not worried about myself. Like, I feel I'm fine. Truthfully, I'm worried about my family. I'm worried about my mom, and I'm worried about my grandpa. And it's not because I don't think they can't defend themselves, but what Henry, my father, did is he did what he did in the middle of the night because he knew we were asleep and we couldn't defend ourselves.
Right.
Right.
So who's to say he's not going to do that again? I can't sit there 24/7.
So you're still suffering from PTSD from this.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, like, yeah.
Damn.
Well, I testified in the state trial, and I remember that he got 44 years, or maybe he was looking at 44 years. So I didn't think he'd ever get out. And I remember testifying for days in that, and he ducked his head when I said, yeah, he told me that the Unabomber was his hero, and he kind of ducked his.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And then the jury was just shaking their head.
Oh, I'm sure they loved that.
Yeah. But I thought he got 44 years.
What, Mom? It was 28 years at 85%. Yeah.
Damn.
And one of the things too that's kind of a shame. It's not because he got 28 years, right? But
Yeah.
he got him for threatening to blow up the arch and then running the car through there.
Yeah.
But then nobody followed up on the domestic abuse thing to where maybe that can add on to a little bit of, because when this guy comes out, I mean, I don't know, but crazy's crazy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Well,
who
we
knows?
might know some people that know some people,
Right.
Yes.
Right. That's
Hopefully he just goes
right.
away, never contacts him, and just,
Well, what
Tries-
I will say is I'm going to go see him this month.
oh, interesting.
Another form of closure, if you will. I feel like I've learned a lot. I've been doing this for 9 years now, so I feel, I've got a lot more knowledge than I did back when I was 21 when I saw him. Not to say I know everything, but I don't know. I feel like I can maybe get a better read on him now and just.
I think we're going to get into that here in a little
Yeah.
bit
All right.
about
Interesting.
where your career has gone. But I wanted to just go back to high school,
Yeah.
Jerseyville High School,
Yeah.
right? You got that's where you got kind of interested in criminal justice and then took it to community college?
Yeah, I remember when I was in college, high school, they offered a couple different classes like psychology. So I was like, ooh, I want to take that. What makes people crazy? Took that, took like a forensics class in high school, and I was like, yeah, this is awesome. I'm gonna do it. So then I worked at Taco Bell full time.
Yes.
And
Did you ever make I gotta interrupt because
I-
I always thought you heard it a little earlier. I may smoke a little something here and there, but I would imagine working there and making your own, just like making stuff up.
Oh,
Did you ever just make stuff up?
absolutely.
And it was awesome.
Yes,
wasn't it?
I wish I could go back there behind. We call it the food line. I wish I could go back there.
Come on.
Today.
Let me ask you this: do you still eat Taco Bell?
Yes, I love it.
Okay, good.
I do.
That's
I
good to
love
know.
it.
So
Yeah.
here we are. We're in high school, but go ahead.
Anyway, okay.
Law
I lost my
enforcement.
train
Law
of thought.
So do we all.
We're in high
Forensic
school.
class.
Yeah,
Right.
but
Yeah.
you're going into criminal justice, and you're
Yes. So
yeah.
then I worked at Taco Bell and all that stuff, and then I was like, okay, I want to go to college. So I took a year off just to kind of gather my thoughts and whatnot, and then I went to college for criminal justice. So it was like an associate's in applied science and a certificate of proficiency in criminal justice is the technical term. But I did that, and then you do an internship at the very end of your, whatever you want to call it,
Right.
You senior.
It's okay.
yeah, your last year of college. You do an internship, and so I did an internship with the sheriff's department in Jersey County, and I loved it. Like I would work, intern shifts in the jail. I would ride along with the deputies. I actually got to go on a coroner's call, which was really, I was 19 when this all went down.
That's
So
okay.
it was awesome. It was
And then you got a waiver to come in to the jailers thing at 20, right?
Yes. Once I completed my internship, I applied to the sheriff's department, and I got hired by, it was John Wimmersberg, who was the sheriff at the time he hired me. And I was only 20, so they had to sign a waiver for me to start the Corrections Academy and go to the Corrections Academy. And I was 21 the week of range week when we qualified. So
Very cool.
yeah, it worked out.
Now, how long were you at the jail?
I worked in the jail for 6 years.
For 6 years.
Yeah.
How's your marksmanship?
You a good shooter?
I mean,
That's no.
I'm good
That's
enough.
A no.
Good son.
That's a no.
I'm not like a SWAT boy or anything like that.
We can train you.
But
Yeah, she just called you SWAT boy, by the way.
She just said,
What's up, SWAT boy?
She just said SWAT boy. She wasn't referring to me.
Yeah, I
SWAT
think
boy.
she was
Are you a
referring
SWAT
to you.
boy?
Yes.
Oh, no.
Oh,
That's
dude.
an inside joke we have in our department.
boy.
He's a head nodder.
No, I started the head nod.
Yeah, I think he started the head back in the
That's not true.
back in the early '90s. I think he started the head nod.
But here, let's get off the subject for a minute. I got one more question. Let's talk about your grandfather real quick.
Yeah.
He is a retired lieutenant. Is that right?
Sergeant.
Sergeant,
At the
okay,
Alton
sorry.
Police Department. And he was a detective also.
Okay. All right. And how's he doing?
He's doing great.
Good.
He is a expert shooter. He
God
taught me how to shoot.
There you go. You should be great then.
He not as good as him, but he's
He got you from failing to passing.
yeah, exactly.
Okay, I
Exactly.
gotcha,
I
I
had
gotcha.
no freaking clue how to use a gun when I was 20 years old. I had not a clue, but I have progressed tremendously from all that, and he's taught me a lot. So
Good.
So you became then, after taking after your grandfather, you became the first female jailer, first female road deputy, and the first female detective of the Jersey County Police Department.
I did.
And there was a sheriff that hired you, Sheriff Manns, correct?
No, so Sheriff John Wimmersberg is the one who actually hired me back in 2016 is when I started. Sheriff Manns was actually our detective. Shortly after I got hired, he was our detective.
But you spoke very high. When me and you
Absolutely.
spoke just a little
Yes.
bit. And I obviously misquoted that.
No worries.
But you said Sheriff Manns meant a lot to you.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So tell us a little bit about Sheriff Manns, who is the sheriff now, but you said he was a mentor of yours.
So, and he got hired in 2017 after a 32-year career, I believe is what he has. He was in U.S. Marshal. He was in the FBI.
Wow.
He's done all kinds of crazy. I love listening to his stories. But all in all, he got hired as our detective in 2017, bringing all of those years of knowledge to our small department. And so I was 21 years old, brand new correctional officer, very unsure of myself, very not confident in anything. And he's like, "You're gonna do great. You're gonna do good things. Just keep at it." And he just very mentor-like, always helped me through things. Always very confident and reassuring, as he still is today. But he always just said like, "You're gonna be fine. You're gonna make it." And then he got offered another job opportunity. I lose track of time, but he went off and worked for the state police. He ran a unit in East St. Louis, and then he came back to be our sheriff, and then he appointed me as our detective. So I work directly under him. So it's great. I mean, I'm learning
Didn't you
from
work
the best.
homicides? Didn't you work homicides in East St. Louis with Sheriff Manns?
No, so I did not. I worked on a major case
Oh, okay.
in Granite City.
Okay.
On the major case, but
Yeah. And he was actually an FBI agent in Fairview Heights back in the day.
East
He was in
Side.
the FBI.
East side.
he's done it all.
So we have a little special guest, and
Well, I could see.
it is your
I
sheriff.
was
We had him
looking.
hidden. We had him hidden before.
Well, I kept
Before we went
looking.
down, we had him hidden, but now he's coming.
So he's
to the
been hidden
stage.
the whole time, and now he's.
I think he's there.
I see
I
him.
think he's sound only though. Sheriff, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Oh, we can hear you. That was loud.
Oh,
Hold
sorry
on.
about that.
No,
you're
Yeah,
perfect. It's
you're
on our
good.
end.
You're good, but John's just producer John's making a couple adjustments here, turning down a hair.
Hey,
He
he's
might-
undercover. Don't. He's undercover.
Yeah.
Better off not seeing me, to be honest with
So you can't come on live, see you?
you.
Is that on our end or his?
Which one?
Why we can't see him? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. I think it's his. Sheriff, do you have a video there with you?
It shows my camera is working, fellas, so I don't.
all
Hang
right.
on a second. Let me change something right up front.
There he is.
That's my guy.
All right, I
there.
apologize now.
He just went there on Mobile Reserve.
I didn't hear what he said about Mobile Reserve, but
He said he worked with you guys and you
Figured
suck.
out that technical difficulty.
okay. We're definitely technical difficulty at Mobile Reserve.
I think he said you suck. I think, that's what I heard.
Hey guys.
Welcome, Sheriff.
Sheriff, I really appreciate you guys being on and.
Being patient.
And what I want to tell you, I want to tell all of our listeners, thank you for being patient. But what we will do is that little goof there. So when you tell your friends to listen to the show, they won't have to go through that whole downtime. We're going to put that together and put it out tomorrow. But again, first of all, Sheriff Nick Manns is joining us. He's the sheriff of Jersey County, and the sheriff is running for re-election here shortly, and
Got my vote.
and here's what's amazing about this is he had a fundraising event tonight, and you know how politicians are when they have a fundraising event, they're going to go to the fundraising event. That's just how politicians roll. Not Nick Manns. Frank reached out to him and said, "Hey, this is what we're doing," and he's been so gracious, and he canceled.
No way.
Canceled. Now tell me one other politician, and I don't mean to call you a politician, Sheriff Manns, but
You're
if
gonna
you're
find out the toughest you keep talking like that.
if you run for election, I would consider
That's
you a
better.
politician. So, but there's nobody. I mean,
No.
JJ, I mean,
She must be special, brother. I'll tell
that's
you that.
exactly right, and that's what I was
Not
getting
only
at.
not only that, we called him the day before. I called him. He had 1 day notice, and I'm apologized, but we just came up and we kind of brainstormed. I'm going to call him, and he had 1 day
I'm a
to.
big Sally fan, you guys. I'm a big Sally fan. I wasn't gonna miss it.
That's awesome.
That's a fact.
And that's exactly what you told me. And Sheriff, what I want to ask you is, you've seen a lot of abuse over the years and what it can lead and what it can lead to and how so many people don't end up in Sally's position right now. And I wanted to just ask you how proud you've seen the whole development and how this has been handled. Just tell us a
Yeah,
little
yeah.
bit about Sally and how proud you are of her.
Well, I mean, Sally's past is what makes her what she is. I listened to you guys talking about, obviously, anybody who goes through that thing. But, I would submit that a lot of Sally's strength comes from her mama, if you think what her mama went through. And I've met her mama, so I know she's pretty tough, pretty strong. So that's where Sally gets it. But Sally's going to be the first female sheriff we have, too, guys. Don't for a second. I'll just give you a little example. I did meet her when she was a correctional officer. She did lack a little confidence, and I'm not sure why, but Sally's one of those, if she lacks in an area, she's going to work her ass off to get to the stage where she's good at. And, she did that correction. And then I left for a while. And then when I came back, she was a road deputy. And then I'll tell you why she's my detective. A huge reason is because of her life story, right? She has the ability to talk to people who've been through something because she went through something. Right. And you guys know, I know both of you know, the best cops are always, somebody who has a life story. And sometimes in the old days, the best cops were outlaws. But nowadays, she has a life story. And so she can empathize and she can do all the things. And on top of that, she can talk to people. So one of the things I did when I became sheriff here is I forced my deputies to go into the county to every door. And there I broke it down to zones, and they had to meet people when they had called 911, and you can imagine how popular that was with deputies to go up, knock on people's damn doors for no reason. The public loved it, but what they loved the most about was Sally. That's where I got a lot of calls. So once, I knew then she was special, and she could be a detective, and she could do the work, and she knew how to communicate. And the biggest thing, part of our job, as you guys well know, is communication. Really good at, really proud of her. Super tough. I might have to talk to her about going back to visit Henry, but for sure I can tell you this much: Sally's going to be safe here because she's awful popular, as you guys know, in our county.
I'm going to give Jersey County again some just wild kudos. And we didn't even know that usually our point man here is Danny, and I don't know if anybody's seen any other episodes, and he sits in the middle there, and I did not know that his wife was from Jersey County. And I said it earlier in the show, but we've got a connection to Jersey County, and Jersey County might be the county that puts this podcast over the top and gets us rolling, right? So
I hope so.
and it is, but it's a great story. And the sheriff here, Sheriff Mann's you guys, and him taking care of you, and then you becoming what you've become, and I just love the story.
It's great.
And she
Frank, what do you?
with us.
What's that,
Think
Frank?
about it. She almost wasn't with us. Had that house burned down and they couldn't get out, or had he went crazy with a gun or something, and she's a survivor, and maybe there was a reason for that.
Yeah. I think
when I heard the story, it just brought tears to my eyes.
Oh, there's a reson for it. Yeah, God decides these things. Sally's here for a reason. I'll tell you something else. She's being humble. She can shoot. I've got a bunch of shooters in this department. It's really impressive to me coming here, and they work really hard at it. Don't let her fool you. If you could get past her grandpa and then past all of Jersey County and you get to Sally, you might be in trouble.
I think her mom might be in that. I think her mom might be a part of that roadblock. Her mom is. I look at her mother. Her mother been through some shit, and she's tough as hell. I can tell.
I don't mess.
Well, I know why Sally's so good. I know why she shoots so good. She told me, "Oh no, he didn't just get shot once. He got shot a bunch of times." I wonder if she was the one.
Hey,
No comment. No comment.
Hey, this ain't that kind of pod. This ain't a snitching podcast. We don't snitch on this podcast.
Plead the fifth.
But the other thing, Sally, is you told me yesterday that one of the things that you have kind of gravitated towards in investigations and whatnot is domestic cases.
Yeah, it was funny because I was talking to one of my sergeants yesterday, and I was looking up, a lot of my cases, trying to think of what's something memorable and that someone would want to listen to. And
then you thought about your father?
Well,
or Henry? Henry.
Yes.
No.
But
I'm
he
sorry.
says domestic battery, aggravated domestic battery. I'm like, man, I've really worked a lot of domestic battery cases. And I'm like, wow, and just the other night, I realized there's a reason for that. And they all stick out to me, each and every one of them. Not that every case doesn't mean something, but, these cases more so as they mean more, and I push for charges, and I, have one-on-one conversations with the state's attorneys, hey, this needs charge, this needs end, we need to put this guy away, and the family needs help.
Now, do you ever find struggle in interviewing people in that situation? And, if you're interviewing the abuser, that you kind of have a little animosity towards them from the get-go?
I tell you what, no. Because for some reason, when I go to work, I put on this like different face. And I'm sure you guys can probably relate too, but when I go, it's work, it's business. I have to either, as Sheriff Means would say, get a confession. I have to walk out of there with a confession. But it's business, it's work. Now, when I go home at night, do I? Yeah, probably, but it's all work to me for some reason. I don't know. I don't know if that sounds heartless, but
No.
I mean,
Nope, not at all.
I'm very passionate when I do it. Not angry, not upset. I'm just very in the zone.
All right.
Perfect.
So, Sheriff, how many people, how many deputies we have in Jersey County?
I have about 30 total employees, but we have, what do we got, Sally? 12, 13
I was
on
gonna
the
say,
road.
12,
12 on the
13.
road. I've got 8 in corrections, and we got some part-timers.
So
We got one.
does any females follow her in her footsteps now? Give any?
I hope so.
She was the first, but you have more now?
Yeah, we have, well, we don't have any on the road yet. We have several correctional officers, female, really, probably about half, wouldn't you say, Sally? About half.
Oh, yeah.
We have a solid core of female officers. But Sally was the first. She always has that right.
When's the statue go up?
The Sally statue?
Sally statue.
Oh, God.
What's the statue gonna? What?
When she becomes sheriff.
Yeah, but what is it gonna be though? Is it gonna be like a house on fire?
No.
A dog.
Her standing strong, brother.
No, just a dog.
I'm telling you guys, when you guys listen to the song at the end of the show, and we'll
Who sang
Frank, John made it.
I did.
Hey,
I sang it for him.
JJ has a good female voice.
Okay.
No, but let's get into Jersey County because I really appreciate, we as a podcast appreciate the support that you guys threw our way for acknowledging. We are honored to acknowledge your story. We are absolutely. I mean, we've had many of horrible cases on here too. You know, and you come on with a smile on your face, with your mother in the crowd. That's an honor to us. You know, tell the story. It's a great story. And Sheriff Manns, when Frank reached out to Sheriff Manns, and he canceled an election fundraiser. The first time, I mean,
I gotta clarify that. I actually canceled the thing where we were some money was coming to our department. I'm not in election mode yet, guys. I got to run next year, although I had to announce this week. But
okay. Frank, I'm snitching Frank out.
Hey, Sheriff, real quick though, Sheriff, you've been around a long time. You were a federal agent. I know you have stories. You're welcome to come on and tell them anytime you want in this podcast, brother.
You know, I got to tell you guys, I just learned about your podcast. I'd be honored to do that. And I love. I have a unique experience for FBI agents because I was in Indian country most of the time. So there's a lot of good stories.
Yeah,
Be good.
see,
But
he's
with
coming
that said,
on.
I wanted to say,
I asked,
Sally's an animal lover. If you guys haven't figured this out yet, but there was one time where she locked the cat in a room. You can ask her about that.
All right. See, that's why we brought the sheriff on. I asked you.
I pushed that
said-
trauma out of my mind.
I said, "Do you have any good stories to tell?" And you said, "Not like Frank." And then she said, "I just want to talk about how I like the domestic cases." So go ahead. Now.
I don't want to.
Well, Sally, you don't have to tell them that about the cat that you thought you were saving by putting it in a room without any food or water. But
Cats are survivors, though.
like her. Tell them, Sally, about the time you had the cat under the hood of your car.
I did save that cat.
Yeah, they'd like to hear that story.
I saved that cat.
Let's see. Let's hear about it. How did you save it?
I don't even remember how. You hear just like people talking around the office, and we had this sergeant who was talking about something about a cat, and like I just vaguely just remember hearing it, but not really paying attention. And I drove a Dodge pickup truck. It was my first squad car. Hated it. But I'm
Couldn't back it up.
no, I could not back it up whatsoever.
Are you a bad driver? Let's just be honest.
I
It had nothing to
mean,
do with the car.
You are a woman.
I think
Are
I'm
you-
pretty good now, but the Dodge pickup was.
I set JJ up again. He took that. He took it again. I'm gonna make JJ say something stupid.
It
Sorry,
wasn't
ladies.
good. But we were on our way to a call, and I hear this like meow, and I'm like, oh my God, there's a cat in my car. And we had just went to another call, and it's rural area, so there's cats, dogs, goats. The sheriff had a goat in his car one time when he was campaigning. That's another
This
story.
ain't Candyland, JJ.
Yeah.
This is not Candyland.
No.
But we were on our way to a call, and I hear it again, and then I started catching on. It was like every like so many minutes, and it was a different meow each like 3 times, and I'm like, something's not right. But I told my partner over the radio, I gotta pull over. I think there's a cat in my car. And so I pull over on the side of the road. I'm looking around. I'm like, man, what the heck? So we go to this call. We go back to the office, and I'm talking to one of the other deputies, and I'm like, I'm about to take my car to Southside, which is where we take our vehicles. I'm like, if there's a cat in here, like, I can't live with this. Like, if it dies, like, I'm gonna be so upset. And so I'm like underneath the truck and under the hood and everything, and they're recording me on our cameras inside. And
They're digging it. Right
yeah.
now, they are digging it.
yeah, so I looked where it was a noise keep thingy off Amazon that he got, and
He set you up.
yeah, but I looked to where it
Did you
was,
get it?
That ain't fair.
but I had like
Hey.
half an idea, but
Now that's a good sheriff right there.
We have
if
fun.
I ever decide to come back,
we have
well, I
fun.
might fail the drug test, but if I ever decide to come back,
You
I'm
go
going to
for
Jersey
sure.
County.
We had fun with it.
That's good.
Absolutely.
But yeah.
But Sheriff, if so, you've been there for a minute, and I'm going to ask you both the same question. We're at Columbo's Cafe. Best beer, best pizza in town. If we're rolling through Jersey County, where do I get that, Sheriff?
Well, I sent a text here to somebody today or email, but we got a lot of great places, guys. We got some of the best barbecue, I think, in the world. It's Speed's Cabin. We have a little bar here called Four Brothers, which has things called pork fritters, which might be the best in the world, and maybe the only in the world. But
Yeah.
we've got a lot of good spots. You guys know Grafton, that's in Jersey
Yeah.
County.
Oh.
So a lot of good spots in Grafton. In fact, I expect you to call me if you're there again, Sally, and I'll come meet you.
Sounds like a plan.
Yep.
Is Georgia
time in Grafton.
is Georgia still?
It's a beautiful county, guys. If you haven't been here, I mean, it's on the river. It's a pretty county, and yeah, and it just happens to be Sally in my home. So
What do you got, Johnny?
Is Georgia still open? In
Yep.
Jerseyville?
Yes.
yeah, Georgia.
Oh, yeah.
In Georgia
Great food.
has good pizza. Yeah, they got great food and great bar and live music. Real cool.
Yeah.
So I said earlier we got some stuff planned in the future. Hopefully, that things are going to break a little differently. But one of the things we're thinking about doing is daytime boozing review. So we come to, so, and I'll ask you, Sally, if we come there for like we want to have a good time at 1 PM. People our age, I get it. People 29 years old ain't out, but people our age are out. Where are we going in Jerseyville to have a good time?
Is there Uber and there's a good hotel next to it?
I would say Grafton.
I've been to
Really, I
Grafton.
mean, Grafton's like a catch-all, young.
What's up with Patchtown though? We got.
Well, that's Calhoun County.
Oh, the Howard was wrong. Go figure.
Well, Calhoun County is beautiful too. But if you're
Sally,
coming,
your hometown, where Sally lives now in Fielding, has 2 good spots.
it does. Yep. My best friend.
Throw 'em out.
Poorhouse. My best friend Tina owns.
That's why we're
Poorhouse.
going. Then we're going there.
Yeah, it's where you're going.
That's where
where
we're
you
going.
go. And
Done.
Got BB across
Done.
the street.
And then there's BB's
Done.
across the street. They
It
have great
doesn't-
pizza.
But your best friend works at the one place.
You're right.
Or
I'm a
owns
little
the one
biased
place.
sometimes.
So we're going there.
Yeah.
That's where I. Are we announcing it yet, John? Is that
Are
our
they-
first
are they-
daytime boozing
Sounds like
review?
a plan.
Are they open tomorrow?
Oh yeah, and then we can go along the River Road all the way down the river
Love
in
it.
Grafton.
Been there. Rode my motorcycle
Yep.
down there many times.
I like it.
Perfect.
Hey, Sheriff, real quick, how long did you do in the FBI?
Let's see, I did 5 years in the Marshals and 21 years in the FBI, and then I retired.
Frank, how many years did you do in the FBI?
28.
59 years or 49 years of
Math guy.
just FBI stuff. We need to get that
You
out.
guys are thinking in
We
your
need to
head.
have you guys back on together, just the two of you. And then
Yeah, we
I
gotta
asked,
talk about the Fairview Heights St. Louis rivalry.
well, I asked Sally. I said, "You got any? As we do with everybody, you got any stories you want to tell?" And she said, "Well, I ain't got no Frank stories." And then, but I felt bad for her. I was like, not everybody has Frank stories.
Yeah.
Sometimes,
Frank's got
like,
enough stories.
If you would have said the cat story, if you would have said, I got this, the sheriff
Yeah.
decided to put a cat call in my car, I would have said, yeah, tell that story.
Yeah.
And then the sheriff had to bring it out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I tend to forget that one.
Frank, I don't know about you, Frank, but I think you and I together could probably tell enough mobile reserve stories to keep you a full hour.
I'm ready, brother.
No, the bad ones, though, right?
Huh?
They didn't do shit.
That's bullshit.
That won't be
Tell,
necessary.
hey, just tell one mobile reserve story. Come on.
No.
It's going to be
Cut
good.
off. We're
I
done.
don't think-
The
I tell you
show's
what, I
over.
don't
We're going to get to this
think that's
awesome
limited.
song.
Frank's shutting up, but that's all right.
Hey, we're not telling no mobile reserves.
We will when you
stories.
when we bring you
That-
on, Sheriff. You can tell some stories then,
But I'm
bro.
going to tell you what.
I got to make sure the statute of limitations is running.
It's okay. Don't worry
I
about it.
want you to hang on here, both of you, to hear this song. And we're going to sit here with Sally. And this song, and producer John knocked this one out of the park, didn't he, JJ?
You did.
And this show is about to be over here in about 2 seconds, or 10, 12. But the one thing that's for sure is that communities that support law enforcement are safer places to live. It's been a pleasure, Sally. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for coming by.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
And
Thanks, Frank. And
thank you,
thanks,
Frank.
Sheriff.
Thank you, Sheriff. And we're gonna take you guys out with this song. And this is, listen to the words.
And Sheriff, if you ever want me to
Get
come
your
down
tissue
and
ready.
campaign for you, let us know. We'll come down and campaign for you, buddy.
Absolutely.
I just want you to come down and have a beer with me, and we'll be good.
That's awesome. Perfect.
Hey, that's all we can do.
I'll take it.
Every-
When you're a young girl, life should be carefree. Loved ones should be there to watch over me. But that's not a given. It can all turn around in a brief moment. It can flip upside down. I won't take the dark road. Will not waste this chance to make such a difference, help others advance. Life is too precious to let slip away. Can't take that dark road. I'm here to stay. Got to step up each day that I can. Be there for my neighbor is part of the plan.